Greetings, family. It is yours truly, founder of Black Business and Finance Group, Alton D. Walden III. My wife, Dana Walden, is the co-founder. We thank you so much for tuning in to your Wealth Building Strategies program. Listen, you already know it's going up. I only bring the best on this platform right here. I mean, the queen, she's taking dominion. For those who know her, well, we already know she's about this life. So, I only bring people on that's living it, and that's helping. And I definitely received value from Kevette. So I brought her on this evening because I've joined her clubhouse group. I received wonderful jewels. We all don't know everything. So you need to be connected to individuals where you can also glean from them as well. And I definitely glean from Kevette. So listen, man, for those who don't know it, listen, you want to stay tuned in because we get ready to build you up on this evening. We get ready to give you some financial tools that you need in order for you to build a financial shelter for endless generations to come. Listen, you don't want to miss it. Make sure you share and invite. For those who out there on tonight, let us know what city and state that you're tuning in from. That'd be great. Again, what city and state that you're tuning in from, that'd be great. Also, entrepreneurs. Now, we can't leave you out, right? Listen, don't ever miss an opportunity. So I'm going to give you this opportunity like right here, right now. Put your business information out there in the comment block. If you would be so kind to do so, please, so we can support you. Listen, I want you to understand, for those who are still learning about the marketing piece, whenever somebody shares the video, when you put your business information in that thread, guess what goes along with it? That's right. Your business goes along with that thread. So, hey, make sure you don't miss an opportunity. You never know. Somebody may see your information as relates to what you do, and now you gain a potential client, and somebody is willing to pay for your products and or services. All right? So we getting ready to dive in right here, right now. We have the CEO of Miriam Life LLC in the building, Kevette Minor in the building. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm amazing. I'm excellent. I am honored and privileged to be on your program. I thank you so much, you and your wife, for hosting this program, first and foremost, for building this platform for the Black Business and Finance Group, and for inviting me as your guest.
You are definitely welcome. Listen, you and I, we've done business. We've networked. You come into the Black Business and Finance Clubhouse group, you are all over the place. And I love it. I always say that. I say, man, this woman is all over, and not in a bad way. But I just know it's like, you know what to do, and especially in the industry that we're in, where we have to get leads to be able to do business. So I love what you're doing. It's obvious that you know what you need to do. You're definitely a professional, very well spoken, and you definitely add value, to those who are listening to you. So please tell us about Kevette Minor. Tell us about you. Tell us the backdrop, how you got to the financial industry, how you come up with your business name, and why we should listen to you. The stage is yours.
I hear you. Thank you so much, Mr. Alton Walden and Dana Walden. My name is Kevette Minor Kane, and I am a financial liberation expert. I guide women on their journey to self-sufficiency by teaching them how to manage their money without losing their minds. That means being able to understand how our emotions affect our money management so that we're able to make better decisions, to create better habits, and to experience a greater quality of life in harmony with our purpose. And so My More Life is my baby. It is my child, my my nurturing, my business. It is my foundation from which I grow at this point in time and reach out to the global community of women who desire to embrace their financial power and to be empowered and encouraged for financial education. As we put into application the tools and the resources, and we understand the tasks that we need to accomplish in order to reach our goals, that is what makes the difference, so that we become financially literate. Financial education leads to financial literacy, but we have to start also with emotional intelligence and understanding how we're affected by our financial circumstances, by the situations that we've experienced, and being able to move from what has happened to me into what am I making happen in my life.
That's
So that's where I
absolutely
start today.
phenomenal.
Thank you.
That's a phenomenal introductory. Definitely. So I noticed that you specialize in women. Specifically, that's what I noticed, that your business is very clear, that's what your focus is on. However, I know you help everyone,
Yeah.
but your specialty is in the women's arena. Okay, let's talk about that, the why behind why specifically the female gender.
Okay. So I focus on working with women, first and foremost, because I am a woman. I relate more to women than I would relate to anyone else. I understand our challenges. I understand our strengths. I understand where we're coming from, and I believe I know where we're going. And what I'm able to do in encouraging my sisters to reach out for more as they strive to accomplish their goals and to create the reality of their dreams. It's not that I don't focus on serving men. I'm a mother of two men. My boys are 18 and 24, so I raised two strong Black men. And I appreciate the value that every woman has on influencing the men in her life. And so I feel like the best way for me to reach the men in her life is by educating her, by encouraging her, by empowering her, so that when she goes to these men and she has these conversations, or they have, different circumstances or situations that come up, she's able to handle it better, and they're able to be influenced and encouraged simply by her ability and her presence. And that's where I feel makes the greatest difference. I feel that, women are strong in the sense, and there's something that has been said about women, continuously, that women, girls rule the world, right? We've heard the song, we watch the movie, we see the videos, we see the memes that come across, girls rule the world. And the question I had to kind of pause and ask myself is, well, why is that? Why do we rule the world when oftentimes it seems as though we're getting the short end of the stick? How do women rule the world? Well, I realized that we rule the world because we gave birth to every one of its leaders.
There it is.
Simple.
There it is.
So you look at the
Mama
king. Earth. Absolutely. You look at the king, and the first lady that he's going to turn to is going to be his mama. Now he loves his queen, but he came from mama. And in many circumstances, that is where he learned to appreciate the queen that he chooses in his life. And oftentimes we'll find, more often than not, that queen reflects the image of his mama because of the honor and respect that he has for her. And so, as we continue to grow and to develop, as we lay the foundation through being our children's first educators, through being our children's first disciplinarians, by being the ones who feed our children and nurture our children and shape their thinking and help them to grow, that is how we're able to change the world. So any woman who has an opportunity to, influence through having children or even working with children, is where we're being able to exhibit that power and to really understand the magnitude of the influence that we can have. And so that's why Mari Moore Life, Mari Moore Life actually came from my personal experience. I've been through many transitions in life, as most women do. We go from childhood to adulthood. We go from being single women to being wives. We go from being, solo to having children. We become mothers. We, care for our parents. We, sometimes lose family members, but we're caring for those who are grieving. And as we even care for ourselves during our own grief. And we're the nurturers. We feed and we clothe and we transport. We do all of these things to make sure that our families and our communities are cared for. Absolutely. I love how Amani Amari says our womb is the portal to the universe, and it absolutely is, because from it you get everything that you need. You
That's
are,
right.
and that's undeniable. That's a fact that we have to appreciate, and we have to really be able to love and respect and honor that position. Both from
Absolutely.
the position of
Absolutely.
being the women who carry that weight, to those who honor those, honor the women who are in their presence and have the opportunity to share that influence with them.
Absolutely. And you have come from some traumatic experiences in your life that has built
Yeah.
you into the queen that you are today, taking dominion. And you're a focused woman. You're definitely confident in what you do. I could tell by the way you flow, right? Very, very knowledgeable about your craft. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
so talk to us about that. Tell us about your journey and how it molded the queen that we see on today.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I started talking about More Life, and I did not continue or give the full explanation. So, More Life, that name came from the compounding of two Spanish words. First is mariposa, and the other is morena, or morena, and so it comes from the
Hmm.
dwelling of the butterfly.
Hmm.
If we're able to, you look up that definition of those two words, and the butterfly symbolizes transition. And so for me, it is about living a lifestyle that embraces that transition, because we will continue to change. And if we resist the change, then we can cause ourselves more challenges. But if we embrace the change, then we're able to transform beautifully into what the creator designed us to be. And so we're able to fulfill our purpose. So for me, there's a number of transitions that I've experienced. I spoke to you a little earlier about the fact that there was a period in time for me, about 2 years, when I experienced three major traumas in my life, and it really shifted my thinking,
Hmm.
and helped me to grow, so that am able to be the woman that I am today, and continuing
Hmm.
to grow in this process. But the first was that I survived a natural disaster, which was Hurricane Maria in 2017 on the island of Puerto Rico. I never experienced anything so devastating in my life. But the transition was clear. One day everything was fine and normal, the way that, I had been used to, living life. And then within 36 hours, the entire island had been devastated. So
Hmm.
many people had lost their homes. Many people lost their lives.
Yes.
Everybody lost power and water and cell phone service. And, many people lost their way of living, because so many businesses were destroyed. Much of the landscape was completely transformed, and so we just, experiencing that for me really kind of gave me an understanding of what it meant to have a clean slate. So I had an opportunity to really start from the ground and build up. And not long
Right.
after that, less than a year and a half later, my father passed away. And that was
Hmm.
actually what brought me back to the United States, because I had lived on the island for, over 5 years. And I didn't plan on coming anywhere, near the States again. I was like, I had family and friends. Y'all want to see me? Come visit me on my island. And I was happy, you know. But I did have to come back to the States in order to care for my father's final affairs, along with my only sister.
Hmm.
And that meant so much to me. Now, I
Yes.
didn't have a great
Condolences.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I didn't have a great relationship with my father before he passed away, but I will tell you that through this process of caring for
Mm,
his final affairs, I got to know him, I feel, better than anybody else would ever know him, because I
mm,
got to see the things that he would never show anybody or talk to anybody about. He actually wrote a book, um, a story about his life that he
mm,
left only for my sister and I to read about him, to know his personal thoughts in those final days of his life, and in the final year of his life, actually. He had been diagnosed with brain cancer a year in advance, which we
mm,
found out in this process. Nobody knew about it because he didn't talk about it. But he passed away in the middle of the workday doing what he did, doing what he loved to do, working on cars,
mm,
and so, to honor his memory, I wanted to make sure that his final affairs were cared for properly. The challenge was that he did not have any life insurance or a will, a last will and testament in
mm,
place. Yeah.
mm,
So that made that process very challenging for my sister and I. For me, especially because I didn't have any finances at the time. I didn't have a firm financial foundation. And that's where the third trauma comes in for me, because I was taken out of my home environment and brought, back to the States to handle the circumstances surrounding my father's death. Um, there was a veil that was lifted for me, regarding an abusive marriage that I had been in for
mm.
17 years at that point.
Wow.
And
Sorry to hear that, sis.
thank you. And
You're
so
welcome.
at that point, when we decided to separate, when I knew that this was, I had no other options. It was actually not my choice to separate. My ex told me not to come back home, and I said, "Well, okay, what am I going to do now?" And so I took a few moments, and I write about this story, in
Whew.
my memoirs. I have an
Wow.
autobiography memoir book that will be coming out in 2022, where I outline, the details of this. And the reason that I share these stories is because all of the traumas that I have experienced have also impacted me financially.
Mm,
And it's recognizing the emotional connection to those monetary situations that has allowed me to shift the narrative for myself and to build a platform to grow from. And
mm,
I believe that in sharing the lessons that I've learned with women who have had similar experiences, or maybe haven't had similar experiences, maybe we can prevent some of them from having those similar experiences. um,
absolutely.
then they would be able to benefit, by preparing themselves emotionally and financially, to continue in a positive direction, and to create a strong foundation for themselves to stand firm on, so that they won't have those financial or emotional challenges that I experienced during those years. So
Mm,
that's, kind of where I come from, with Mari Moore Life, and the message that I speak about, the message that I share, and including the topic of transforming your mind and transforming your money to thrive.
wonderful. So, if you would like to expound on that, you're more than welcome to do so because uh, I definitely would like for you to share some preventive measures
Yeah.
that individuals can take in the financial arena because you are the financial liberation expert. So
Yes,
let
sir.
that be known.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. And I claim that because of my expertise is based on my experience. I am not only educated in finance, I have a bachelor's degree in finance. And I'm also currently certified as an emotional intelligence practitioner, as well as a certified financial education instructor, and a candidate for CFP, which is Certified Financial Planner, which I'm planning for, in the future, and looking forward to attaining that. But I'm going after those further educations, to make sure that I have the solid foundation that I need in order to help these women to transition in their own lives, and to be able to give them the solid information based on knowledge and skill that they would be able to put into application. Because I think that too often we are told what to do, what to do, what to do,
Yes.
and no one takes the time to really show us how.
Mm.
And that's
Hmm.
where I feel like I venture to be different. I don't just want to tell people what to do. I want to show you. I want to show my sisters how to do this. I am what I call a hand-holding coach. I will go through this process with you. And I understand how significant it is for us to be in that position, and for me to be in that position with a woman who is transitioning through some traumas in her life, because it's like, and I will use this illustration because I'm a mother and because I recognize the significance of when a baby is learning to walk. Not to minimize a woman's position or her circumstances, but to help her understand that, when a child is learning to walk or has a desire to learn to walk, that child has been crawling for some time, and sees the other people around them walking, and they like kind of look up like, oh, wait a minute, y'all moving kind of fast, and y'all, you got more mobility. I want to do that too. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet, and I want to be able to move around freely, right? And so in that process, I know when my children started to walk, what they would do first was reach up to me, and when they reached up to me, what would I do? I would reach out to grab their hands so that I could provide some stability as they took their first steps. And as I helped to stabilize them, they would be able to gain more confidence. And they would then begin to take stronger steps. Their legs would get stronger. Their muscles would learn the steps, how to work and how to maneuver their bodies and how to hold the weight, so that then they could firmly move forward. And eventually they were pulling away from me and going on their own. Now, sometimes they would run off and run into something or fall and, get a boo-boo. What I do? Go come up, encourage them, nurture them, kiss the boo-boo, make it better, right?
That's that mama
and then help them back up again. And then they would be able to go on their own. Now, my boys are grown men now, so obviously they're on their own. So it's not something that I would need to do forever, but if they do fall again, or when something challenging comes along, they know that I am here to nurture them through that process and to support them in gaining the stability that they need to stand on their own 2 feet. And that is what I believe women need. When I came back to the States and I returned to the financial services field, because my ex and I were business partners. And when we moved to Puerto Rico, it was to do a missionary work. And so we had this great noble cause that we were going out for. But the most foolish decision that was made was that he chose to leave our business that we had already established behind. And then I foolishly submitted and agreed and went along with that decision. What it did was it put us at a financial disadvantage. Now we were not able to do our missionary work with the same confidence and the same vigor, because we were having financial challenges along the way, because we did not provide or create or maintain, because we already had created it, but we did not maintain that financial foundation, that stability that we so needed to be able to take care of this generous act. How can you give to somebody else when you don't have nothing? And so that's why I continue to encourage my sisters to fill your cup first. To make sure that you have everything you need taken care of first.
Wow.
We hear about it on the plane. They say, oh, when the pressure in the cabin changes, these masks are going to fall out. Make sure that you take that mask and you put it over your face first. And then you can serve, whoever else is around you. But if you don't put your mask on first, guess what you're going to do? You're going to fall out first, and you ain't going to be able to be any good to anybody.
That's right.
So in the same sense, if we handle our finances and we make sure that we're good, we got a firm foundation, we've got some stable resources, we've got savings, we've got cash flow, we've got investments, we've got insurance, we've got our credit in order. We're not taking it like a joke, but we're recognizing how significant it is for our ability to stand strong and step forward. Then we're able to do what we need to do for someone else. But until we get to that point, we're not going to be any good. And so my encouragement is to fill your cup, honey. Fill your cup, sis. And then make sure that you serve everybody else from the overflow. And if you start to feel depleted, you need to pull back. until that cup gets full again. And then when it's overflowing, you can serve others from the overflow.
Drop the mic.
Truth. It's just truth. And I've had to learn these lessons the hard way. And I share this message because I would prefer that my sisters use wisdom. Wisdom is having an opportunity to learn a lesson from somebody else's experience.
Wow.
Sometimes we are so caught up on, I got to learn it for myself. I got to learn it for myself. I got to learn it for myself. Really? Do you have to go through that trauma? Do you have to go through the drama? Do you have to have the heartache and the headaches and all that goes along with it, the health issues and, the financial challenges and the emotional turmoil? You don't have to deal with all of that if you just listen. If you just, and it's so funny, I was making a reference earlier today. There's one of my favorite Bible scriptures at Isaiah chapter 48, verses 17 and 18, and talks about, if you only listen to my commandments, then I will give you peace and righteousness like the waves of the sea. Peace like the river, righteousness like the waves of the sea. But the point is that it continues to flow. There's no end to it if we just listen. So if we be wise and learn the lessons from other people's experiences, we don't have to experience the challenges and the heartaches ourselves. We can see what they have had to go through. And, it's kind of like when you put your hand on the stove after mama told you it was already hot and then you get burnt. You don't have to get burnt. Just listen to mama.
That's right.
That's it. and your mama here is your money manager. Get that straight.
Absolutely, man. Listen, that was absolutely phenomenal. As my queen said, that was confirmation. It was like you were sitting right in here with us as she and I had that discussion. I love the fact that you talk from the perspective of being a woman of faith too. And I truly do believe that we do have the power to get wealth. Absolutely. I truly do believe in the overflow. I believe in the land of milk and honey. I believe in enlarging our territory.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you had touched on the works part, how you went over there on faith, but because you didn't have things together economically, things didn't come together because things wasn't right in the earth.
Right.
Exactly. And I'm so glad that you touched on that, because sometimes people can be overly, religious, if you will. And I'm not knocking anybody.
Overly righteous is what we call it. Overly righteous.
Yeah, and spiritual too. And spiritual too. But over spiritual religion. I'm so glad you stated that, because right there you said, I have faith, but I didn't do what I need to do in the natural realm for my faith to connect with the works, so the super can be put on my natural, so we can walk in abundance.
Yes, sir.
That right there, that's why I said mic drop.
Yeah.
Because that right there, people really do need to hear that. It's so many people struggling economically.
Yeah.
Because they work so much on the afterlife to where they don't work on this life.
Yeah.
When they can,
this is the purpose.
Heaven. That's right. Where they can have heaven on earth. And so that's what I gather from what you said. You can have heaven on earth. You need to put in some works with your faith, and your faith combined with your works will yield you a harvest.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Thank you so much again for coming on, Kevette. It was such an honor and a privilege to be able to have you on the platform. But before we close, it would be remiss of me to not allot you the opportunity to tell everyone the wonderful things you have going on over there. I know you have numerous speaking engagements, and you have a phenomenal clubhouse group, which I am a part of, a proud member of. So please tell us your various platforms and what you have going on.
Yes, yes. I would love to welcome your community as well to join the Mari More Life community, as we are a part of this Black Business and Finance group, supporting and encouraging our community continuously. I've got the website, marimorelife.com, where they can go to get that initial step. I say that this is the next step on your journey, whether you're just starting or you're already in process and you're looking to make more progress. So take the next step and visit marimorelife.com. There's some freebies there that will be set in line for you to get those initial steps so that you can get started, to take you to the point where you would be ready to work with a financial planner. Most folks, when they start out, are not ready for a financial planner because they don't even understand what their own financial world, their own financial picture looks like. Now, what I do is I offer a free 15-minute consultation, and you'd be amazed at how much you can go through and accomplish in 15 minutes. Just reviewing, what does the overview of your world look like, and giving some insights as to how you can fine tune that, and then being able to get you ready to make progress. But it's a process, and it starts with education, and then you're ready for guidance. And then as you are continuing to take your steps on that journey, then we'll provide the support that you need as you go along. Being able to learn enough to know the right questions to ask is absolutely essential. And so that's where I encourage my audience and my community to continue to grow, learning those questions and being able to find the answers, and understanding that there is nothing that is greater for or too great for you to understand. There's nothing that is too confusing or too overwhelming. It may seem that way initially, but I will work with you to help you to get to the point where you will have the confidence that you need to be able to take those steps and to be strong in your journey on that process. So I thank you so much again, you and your wife, for allowing me to be here with the Black Business and Finance Group. It's been absolutely amazing, and I will continue to support you all wholeheartedly.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Hey, family, once again, the mic is hot. The mic was hot on this evening. As you can see, I guess the content that she shared speaks for itself, that we only bring quality personalities on this platform where they will add value to your life indeed. Listen, make sure you come join us. I'm going to put the information up here so you guys can find us on Clubhouse. You can find us on Facebook, also on Instagram. Okay, please come and join us preferably on Facebook. Okay, Clubhouse, audio, we have a nice, wonderful conversation. The reason why you want to come in the group, the private group at that, you don't have to pay anything. It's a starter kit group. It's professionals like Kevette, myself, and amongst many others that share nonprofit information to the community in the arena of business and finance. We know that a lot of people do not, as Kevette says so eloquently, don't know where to start. So we're here to help you to be able to start out right. It is key for you to start out right. Your foundation has to be right. Just like a home, if it's a faulty foundation, it's going to crumble. That's how it is with business and with your finances. So we're here to help you in the group. Okay, you have various personalities that have came on already. We had a trust class already. We had an estate planning class already. For those who are looking to run nonprofits, we had a nonprofit class already. We had some financial classes in there as well, helping you to learn how to budget, how to invest. All right, things of that nature, things that will empower your family, again, in the arena of business and economics. So please come join. Okay, we would love to have you. Please invite others. Okay, I guarantee you that if you apply what you know, you'll grow. Again, it's yours truly, founder Black Business and Finance Group, Alton D. Walden III. My wife, Dana Walden, is a co-founder. We love you. We appreciate you. And we're looking forward to serving you and doing what we said we do. Provide you and your family with the financial tools that you need in order for you to build a financial shelter for endless generations to come. Signing out.